Good morning, good evening, and good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Motorcycle List video. If you clicked on this video, I assume you're new to the sport of motorcycling and looking to get your first bike. Congratulations! You have a personality now, and chicks are going to be all over you. But listen, if you're going to do this thing the right way, you do not want to be ending up on a ratty UJM from 1982 or a clapped-out Ninja with zip-tied plastics and exposed tire belts. If you're going to start riding, you're going to want to have a reliable, modern bike that starts up every time and isn't going to leave you stranded. Older bikes can be cool, but it's better to spend more time riding your bike than working on it. So that means no weird Chinese Amazon crap bikes either. I'm talking about real deal motorcycles from reputable manufacturers. You don't want to spend too much money on a first bike, considering you may end up dropping it or deciding you want to upgrade after a season or two of really honing those fundamentals. These top 7 bikes are all available factory fresh for under $5,000. I mean, come on, have you seen the economy? If you actually ever dreamt of owning your own house or having a family, you better start being financially responsible in your squid years. First up on our list is the 2022 BMW G310R. Can you imagine BMW anything being attainable for an accessible price from the factory at that? You better believe it. The G310R is a sharp entry-level naked bike from BMW that comes in at just $4,995 brand new. This bike is an accessible stature with a seat height of just under 31 inches and a 362-pound curb weight, making it super easy to maneuver around city streets. The 310 has many nice touches you likely wouldn't find from a bike with the price tag coming in below $5,000, like inverted forks, 4-piston front caliper brakes, and LED lighting. It is fuel injected and uses a ride-by-wire throttle system, so no issues getting it out of the road each morning. The liquid-cooled 313cc single-cylinder engine makes 34 horsepower and 20.6 foot-pounds of torque. So we're going out to the 10th place here because it is a BMW. With top speed of 88 miles per hour, you may not have any trouble keeping up with traffic, but you may go back in time. It is slightly less powerful than competitors like the Duke 390, but the BMW fit and finish in the sub $5,000 point of entry makes this a very worthy motorcycle for new riders who want an entry-level naked bike with a premium feel. Number 2 on our list is the Duke 200. The 200's slightly larger counterpart, the Duke 390, has been available to the US market since 2013. In 2020, they wanted to be able to reach an even larger audience by bringing in a model that was even more affordable than the 390. The Duke 200 has been successful in Indian market since 2011, and KTM deemed it a worthy candidate to attract more younger riders to the brand in the US. The Duke 200 costs just $4,099 from the dealer. With a price that low, there is no doubt there will be cutbacks in fit and finish, like the halogen lighting and cable throttle, but nothing so significant that it detracts from the overall cool, aggressive style people have come to expect from KTM and the Duke line. The Duke 200 has a 199cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine that makes 26 horsepower and 14.5 foot-pounds of torque. Weighing it at only 330 pounds, that's enough power to get you around town while still being a bit of fun. Similar to the 390, the Duke 200 is a torquey mid-range power designed for urban riding, although it is capable of reaching speeds of upwards of 80 miles per hour with its 6-speed gearbox. It has a switchable ABS that allows the rear wheel to break loose in supermoto mode. The Duke 200 is the cheapest bike on our list and a good option for a burgeoning KTM simp with a tight budget. And since you're going to have so much spare cash after you discover the perfect motorcycle for under $5,000, why not put that money towards our favorite motorcycle accessory, a Cardo communicator system. Cardo communicators allow you to talk to your buddies, listen to music, or follow turn-by-turn directions, all from the comfort of your own helmet. They are our comm system of choice to use while we're out riding and shooting videos. They've got best-in-class range, battery life, and they got a bunch of models to fit your budget. We actually sell Cardos over on shop.yamandu.co, where every dollar you spend on a shiny new Cardo is an entry to win any one of our shiny new giveaway bikes. Not only will you be improving your ride, but you'll be supporting the people who support us and supporting us by buying stuff on our store and getting entered to win some bikes at the same time. Isn't that cool? It seems the Japanese manufacturers these days are catering more towards new riders with their small displacement naked bikes than fully fared sport options. The only fully fared motorcycle made by the Big Four that's available for under $5,000 is the Gixxer 250 and the CBR 300R. And considering I do not want to send you into a pit of despair that is the Gixxer 250R ownership, my recommendation in the number 3 spot on my list will be the Honda CBR 300R. The CBR is a good option for newer riders that want a sporty aesthetic and high usability at a low price point. It might not be as good as Yamaha R3 or Ninja 400, but an R3 costs slightly more than $5,000, and that doesn't fit in the parameters of this video. If I list the R3, someone will freak out in the comments and say, but Yam, the R3 actually costs $5,299, stop simping so hard. So I am sticking with the CBR as my pick for small displacement sport bikes for under $5,000. The CBR has a 286cc single-cylinder engine that you will find in most entry-level bikes from Honda like the CRF 300L, CB 300R, and the Rebel 300. It makes around 30 horsepower and 20 foot-pounds of torque, and we do not go out to the 10th place on the Honda because it's not a BMW. It is not the most exciting motorcycle, but given it is a pretty lightweight package at 354 pounds, it has an amenable 30.7-inch seat height, and is a pretty good fitting package for a smaller rider who wants to get a sporty-looking, fully fared bike. The R3 may not qualify for our list, but its naked brother will fit in here nicely. That sounded weirder than I anticipated, but I am leaving it in anyways. I'm talking about the MT-03 from Yamaha. The MT-03 shares the 321cc parallel twin found in the R3, but with the edgy naked bike styling inspired by the rest of the MT line. It has a super low and approachable 30.7-inch seat height and weighs in at 373 pounds, so it's very, very approachable for beginner rider making their first foray into motorcycling. It makes 44 horsepower, which is plenty to move this small naked bike down the road. It has some higher stylish end components like the LED lighting and colored wheels that make this bike look a little more serious than it has any right to be for costing less than $5,000. Its upright ergonomics make it easy to ride for longer periods of time or to practice your wheelie game as you save up for an MT-09. We had an MT-03 as a giveaway bike a few years ago and found that with a simple few mods like a sprocket change, exhaust system, and a tune, the MT-03 would be a bike worthy to hold your attention beyond your first few riding seasons as a beginner rider. As of 2022, one can be had with the updated styling for a mere $4,799 from your local Yamaha dealership. As we come to number 5 on our list of the best bikes that can be had for under $5,000, I'm going to talk about some options for beginner dirt boys who like to swing both ways. The KLX 230 from Kawasaki is a great dual sport motorcycle for new riders who want to spend a little time both on and off-road. The KLX 230 comes in a few trim options that all cost below $5,000. The S model features a lower seat height of 33 inches instead of 35, which is a great option for smaller riders or those of you who just want a more sure foot. The SC has even more off-road focused amenities like handguards, tapered handlebars, and a skid plate. The KLX has a fuel-injected, air-cooled 233cc engine that makes 17 horsepower and 13 foot-pounds of torque. It is pretty rudimentary, non-adjustable suspension except for preload in the rear, and that is definitely catered towards urban riding. It is perfectly comfortable running over potholes or rolling off curves, but its softness may prove tenuous on more rigorous off-road terrain. It is a pretty analog machine with limited tech, which helps new riders polish their fundamentals without too many techno gremlins getting in the way. Another contender for a capable dual sport motorcycle is the DR200 from Suzuki. The DR200 is a smaller contemporary to the DRZ400 while also being plagued with the same outdated shortcomings as its larger brother. The DR200 seems a lot more content with its rudimentary components considering the intended purpose and the price point it is available to be purchased at. Costing only $4,659, the DR200 is a truly primitive dual sport motorcycle in the best way possible. It has a bulletproof carbureted air-cooled 199cc engine and a 5-speed transmission. It makes 20 horsepower and 13 foot-pounds of torque and is geared really low, which can be more engaging while cruising around town than being limited to first gear or 2 like you would like to on riding a larger motorcycle in tight city traffic. It weighs only 250 pounds, so it's easy to get up to speed in traffic and will be a breeze to pick up when you inevitably drop it, sending it off-road. It is probably the least freeway-capable motorcycle on our list due to the fact that low curb weight and short gearing, but if you intend on just ripping some dirt roads or bopping around town, the DR200 can be a cool bike that will take a real beating and ask for very little in return. It has a 3.4-gallon gas tank and has been reported to get almost 90 miles per gallon, which might be a significant selling point given the current economic climate that we live in. That's kind of a crazy range for a DR200. The last bike in the number 7 spot on our list and the only cruiser type of bike to make an appearance, it is the Meteor 350 from Royal Enfield. The Meteor 350 is a super unintimidating motorcycle in both its stature and price. This bike cost $4,799 from the dealership and features an air-cooled 349cc single-cylinder engine that makes 20 horsepower and 20 foot-pounds of torque. It is a bit heavier than some of the other bikes on this list, coming in at 421 pounds, but still manageable for a new rider. The Meteor rivals its competitors like the Suzuki SD40 Boulevard and the Yamaha V-Star 250 in both its looks and amenities. It has the cool retro cafe cruiser looks and makes use of modern technology like fuel injection and disc brakes. The Royal Enfield has been stepping up their game lately with build quality and reliability, and the Meteor 350 might be the best option for an entry-level cruiser rider below $5,000 if you want a bike with a little bit more character than a Honda Honda Rebel 300. The sub $5,000 segment for motorcycling has gotten significantly smaller in the last year or two as prices for just about everything continue to inflate, so here are some honorable mentions for those who just got weaseled out of the class by only a few $100s. They are as follows: the Husqvarna Svartpilen 401 for $5,399, the Kawasaki Ninja 400, one of my perennial favorites, for $5,199, the Yamaha YZF-R3 for $52.99, and the Yamaha XT250 for $51.99. Fact: 2 PlayStation 1 games, FIFA 2001 and Gran Turismo 2, have scratch and sniff discs. The FIFA 2001 smelled like a soccer field, while the Gran Turismo 2 smelled like car tires. Goodbye. Well, look at you. You've made it to the end of another Yammy Noob video. You should consider yourself pretty lucky because I have curated this one right over here for you to continue watching. It's probably just as good as the one you just saw. Unless you hated the one you just saw. I don't know, maybe leave me a comment down below about how much you hated it as well too. Or just keep watching this one. Make sure you keep watching Yammy Noob. Don't forget to keep watching Yammy Noob. That's the most important thing. Keep watching Yammy Noob.